So in our last video, we talked about getting to market and buying another property with a long settlement period to make sure you can get yours sold in time. This particular topic today is about bridging finance. A lot of people come and ask, what about bridging finance? And they're confused about what that might mean and how it works. There are two types of bridging finance. One's called an open bridge and one's called a closed bridge. An open bridge finance is when you have got your own property and you're paying a mortgage on it. You've found another property that you've actually got an agreement on and you need to settle. And you need to settle this property on a specific date, but you haven't sold yours. And hopefully, if the numbers stack up, the bank will give you enough money to buy the new property and pay for it, but they don't know when they're going to get the money from your current property. This is not sold. It's still on the market. Nothing's happening. That's an open bridge. It means that there's no specific end in sight exactly as to when this property is going to sell. A closed bridge happens when you've got your property, you've got the new property you've purchased. This property needs to be paid for before you've got the money for yours. You have a deal on the new property, you have a deal on the existing property, but this one has to be paid for before you can get the money out of your one. That's a closed bridge. The bank knows we need to fund this for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 2 mortgages, and so they know exactly when the end date is. So during that period of time, you're going to be paying for 2 loans. You're going to be paying for the full purchase price of the new property, interest only, at the bank's floating rate. And most banks will fund that providing you can show you can afford it. You can actually cover the interest. Some banks will give you up to 6 months at least to actually do the bridging finance and get out the other side. If we have to go to a non-bank lender, and that's normally we go to a non-bank lender because the banks won't do the deal, non-bank lenders will look at it and they'll either let you pay interest only during that time or they will capitalize the interest. In other words, they'll accumulate it, and once you've sold your property, you'll pay them in a lump sum for the interest that's accumulated. Now, those interest rates can be around 7.85, and then there's other fees on top of that to pay for their costs and also to pay for an advisor to set that up for you. That's with a non-bank lender. Banks, happy with the floating rate. They just want to make sure you can get through and pay for both loans over that period of time, and you'll get out the door. They like closed bridges. They don't necessarily like open bridges unless you've got really good funding, like really good income lines coming in. The last thing they're all looking for is, A, can you afford this? And B, what's your exit strategy? Do you have a really clear exit strategy that you're going to be able to get out of carrying these 2 loans at the end of the time? So if you're ready to do that sort of thing and have a chat about that, you can buy and sell a house, you can do bridging finance, but you need to get help in the process. Jonathan from Simply Finance, give me a call.